Hey you guys, it's Maxine. Thank you so much for watching. So this is my sister's hair. I did this video a while ago, but I'm finally sitting down and editing this video. And so this is her before hair. This video is actually a pretty big transformation. This grown out balayage that we have here, I did with like warmer fall tones. It had a lot of copper and mocha in it, and now it's all faded and dulled out and grown out. And this is going to be a big transformation because we're chopping this really short into a little bit more of like an A-line kind of bob, and she wants to go really ashy and smoky. So we're going to do a big like lavender chunk in the front. So if you want to see this before and after transformation, going from like a long warmish balayage to a short cool balayage with a fun chunk in the front, then definitely keep watching. So the first thing that I'm mixing is Matrix Light Master and 30 volume, and I like more of a medium consistency so that it definitely absorbs nicely into the hair, but thick enough that when you fade up the balayage, you get a nice fade out of it. If it's too liquidy, it doesn't do that fade really nicely. So kind of I like the more medium consistency, but also if it's too thick, it just dries out too fast on the hair and it won't lift enough. Lots of reasons, but yeah, so just mixing this up really good, and I'm gonna get started on her transformation. So I thought I filmed it, but I guess I didn't because I can't find the footage for it. But I definitely went ahead and just chopped off her ponytail because we don't need to color all of that length when we're just going to be chopping it off anyway. So whenever I do this, I just part their hair where they normally part it, and I put it in a very, very, very low ponytail, and then I just kind of measure out how long of a ponytail I want to chop off. I always leave it a little bit longer because you don't want to ever make the mistake of even making one little piece of the hair too short in a spot that you wanted to keep it longer. So, you know, leave room to cut it more off after, but I went pretty short because I knew that she wanted it significantly short in the back, so I just chopped off a low ponytail, and now we're getting started on her balayage. I'm taking a really low section starting by the nape of the hair. Like I same thing before when I do the ponytail. Whenever I do a balayage, I do like to just part where they naturally part their hair. And if they part both ways, then I split it down the middle so that it's even both ways. But the first section I'm going to take is like maybe a 1/2 inch slice, and starting on the left side. And yeah, I'm just gonna balayage like mostly the tips of it, so that she still has like a dark root, but I'm gonna tease up the roots a little bit so that I can just kind of diffuse the line a little so that I don't have to worry about too much blending going on. Because if you tease up the roots a little bit, you have less to blend out later. So I'm just painting the tips of this and then kind of feathering it up a bit in a V shape. And yeah, I'm just basically drawing a V onto this little section, but I'm pretty much just using the tips of the hair to lighten because I want this to stay very rooty, and if you go up too high at the root in the back or on such a short piece, it ends up looking funny afterwards. So it's kind of weird to balayage just the tips, and then, but it's just, this is the placement of it. So that's the placement. And this is what I do like to do a lot of times, especially on dark hair. Even though you blend up both sides, you can just flip up the foil and just check the underneath, make sure it's blended out. And if it's not, then you could take the brush and just kind of blend it a little. You saw I just used my finger real quick because it was pretty much blended. But yeah, so I'm just going to skip like 1/2 inch sections and then just take a little slice and continue that same V pattern all the way up. And as the hair gets longer, as the slice that I have in my hand gets longer, I'll start to go up a little bit higher with the lightener. So I won't just go on the very tips anymore. I'll start to go on like the middle part of the hair. And yeah, you just kind of eyeball each slice out. But yeah, I'm not even teasing too much on the root. I'm just like doing a subtle tease just to help a little bit with the blending afterwards. Sometimes I go like really a lot with the teasing because it just depends on the client you have. This is my sister, and she always just comes to me for color. She doesn't do box color. She doesn't go to a bunch of people. There's like literally no color buildup on her hair at all. So that's one of the reasons why I could just, you know, tease just a little bit. If somebody has a lot of color buildup, then I have to like saturate the hair super hard with the lightener. And the more teasing you do, the more of a blend you'll get, you know, with the actual teasing part and the lightener. The more tease you get, the bigger blend you'll get. So when you have to like saturate the hair so much, you want to help with the blending when it comes to teasing. I know that can be a little bit confusing, but just like the rule of thumb is, if you want more of a blend without you having to blend too much with the lightener, like the fading up of the lightener, then do like a lot of tease. And if you don't really need so much help with that, then just do like a subtle tease and use the lightener to like fade up and get that nice fade. And honestly, either way you go, you're gonna use the glazing at the end or the toning to fade it. Even if you do a color melt, definitely that helps with the fading. That's like part of the fading. When you have like the dark root to the light ends, the, you know, the gradient from dark to light, the color melt is always like mastering the fading basically. And even if you just do a single toner, like you just mix up one color at the sink and, you know, smush it through, whatever, you're still helping with that fade, because it's just like, it's getting rid of that harsh line that you get from the lightener. Like, even if you do fade up with the brush a little, you do sometimes tend to get a little line. So the toner always just, you know, fixes that or whatever. But yeah, so that's, you know, a little bit of a trick. The more teasing you do with the root, the more of a blend you get. But yeah, my sister's hair, she doesn't have any buildup, so I don't need to go crazy with the teasing. I'm just doing it a little to kind of act as like a buffer on some of these pieces that maybe I don't want to go too crazy with the fading of the lightener. But yeah, so like I said, the same V shape all the way up the head. And as I go up higher, you'll see me starting to not just do the tips, but I'll do like the mid shaft, and I'll just keep working up the hair. Also, another thing that I like to do, especially on short hair, I don't tend to do this on long hair, because I don't really have to worry about the foil slipping and stuff. But on short hair, I really don't want the foil slipping at all, and it slips a little bit easier usually on short hair because you don't have that length, like you don't have tons of length saturated into the foil holding, you know, the foil in. You only have like a tiny bit of hair in the foil because it's short hair. So I like to just fold up that end in, and not just the folding part of the foil helps to prevent it from slipping out. So, and that's how you're going to prevent like any bleeding that you get at the root. I know that's like a big question that I get a lot, is how do you prevent the lightener from bleeding out of the top of the foil? And you don't want to have that foil slip at all. So one of the tips is just to fold it up at the end. So really quick, I figured I would just kind of add in a little life update to this video for anybody that cares. But I just wanted to, you know, mention why I've been a little bit MIA lately. It's because I had a baby. So I'm on maternity leave right now. And I got engaged, and I had all of my different, you know, events to do, and I DIY'd like all of it. So I was constantly so busy. And then we got married, and we went on our Hawaii honeymoon, and then immediately I got pregnant. And then during my entire pregnancy, I was like super nauseous constantly and just not ever feeling well. So I wasn't like a cute pregnant girl. I was freaking sick all the time. So I just, you know, and now, of course, I have a baby now, and I'm going through the whole newborn, you know, sleep deprivation. I'm just, you know, I'm going through it, living life, loving every moment, even the bad stuff, loving everything. But, you know, it's just, I can't really get my mind wrapped around sitting down and editing a video. But my baby is finally 3 months, and she's sleeping right now. She's taking a nap. You know, I don't want to jinx it, but she is sleeping longer and for longer stretches. Even with her naps, just I'm able to get her down for a nap easier. And I'm just able to just, you know, I realized today, okay, you know what? I need to freaking edit a hair video because it's been a little bit too long since I've come out with a hair video, and this is my life. I love doing hair. This is, the base of my channel is hair related and color related, and I have so much knowledge from all of my, I don't even know, freaking 15 years of experience, and I just, I always want to share what I know with you guys, because I know that it could be a lot and a lot of different, it's just so much to learn when it comes to color and hair and haircuts, and just I've always wanted to use like any knowledge that I have in my experience to help anybody that's out there learning, or just to kind of relate to you guys if you already know, but it's just nice. It's like confirmation. Anytime I've already known something about hair, if I hear another stylist talk about that same thing, I'm like, yeah, see, I freaking knew it. I just kind of feel like it's nice to like relate to you guys at any level that you're at. But seriously, if you guys are like beginners or in school, I wish YouTube was around when I was going to school, or even when I was out of school and I was just trying to like learn how to be confident on the floor and how to do haircuts and how to do color, and I just like wish YouTube was around, 15, I don't even know how many years, it's over 10 years, but I was 16 when I started, so that was 2006, and then I went as a hairstylist on the floor at 2009, and I was 19. And yeah, I just wish YouTube was around when I was learning, because the only thing that was around and was DVDs from like the highest of the highest end, colorists out there like Beth Minardi. I don't know if anybody knows her, remembers her, Beth Minardi, and what's his name? Nick Orojo and Vidal Sassoon. But like, like these older people out there, these older guys, and, they had DVDs that they would come out with haircuts or color, and they would hire these, like, beautiful models with beautiful hair, with virgin hair, and, they would hire these people, and they would do this, like, amazing color placement, or, they would do this color on these paid models, but it was never, like, realistic clients behind the chair. Like, you would never, ever see a video of how to take out dark hair color buildup on somebody's hair, or, like, how to just do like a realistic client. It was always just somebody like, I remember I watched this one video that was like how to place a bunch of different warm red toned highlights, and it was just like the placement, like it was just nothing to it, and it has nothing to do with like a client that's in the real world sitting in your chair. What do they want? What's their goal, and what do they have on their hair? How are you going to achieve that, and what formula are you going to use? And then they, like, a lot of times they would just tell you what tone they use, but they wouldn't explain why they used the tone. You would be like, okay, that's cool that you used 6G, but, like, what does 6G even mean? And why did you use 6G? Why didn't you use a different tone? Like, I like these, like, sit-down talking videos when doing hair, because I feel like I could help, I could explain what my thought process is behind doing hair and behind the different tones that I use. And I just feel like that would have helped me so much when I was learning. And even like as an advanced stylist, like it's just nice to know where, like, what is in the mind of other stylists. You could relate to people and wonder, oh, okay, why did that stylist use that tone? Oh, that's why. Okay, yeah, I agree. Or no, maybe I would have used something different, or whatever. It's just like to have that conversation is refreshing, I think, especially when you're in the industry and you can talk to like-minded people. It's like hair color and the world of all the different like levels and tones of hair color. I mean, anybody who does hair can understand that it's like a whole nother language. Talking about formulas and talking about levels and tones. And I mean, if you're talking to a hairstylist about formulas and all these different things, it's literally like a whole language. And other people out there who don't do hair would have no clue what the hell two hairstylists are talking about, if they're talking about hair color. So I always thought that was kind of funny. And I just like talking to you guys about it. And, I love listening. I love looking at all of your comments and hearing any feedback you have or any questions that you have. I'm going to be starting to answer more questions that I get in my videos. A lot of the questions are a bit longer of questions, and it's not just like a easy fix or an easy answer. So I feel like I have to do like a dedicated video to a lot of questions. So I'm going to try to do that, in the future. So leave me any questions or, comments down below, and maybe your comment or question will end up in a video. And it probably will, because I definitely want to keep coming out with hair content, and hopefully it helps you guys. But yeah, so that's mainly why I do these like sit down, talk through videos, and I don't just, show the video of me doing hair and speed up the clip and just say, here you go, this is what I did. Because I would have, if I was starting out, I would be like, okay, well, that's cool, because I could watch anybody in my salon do that, and that's not helpful. Like, I want to pick your brain. I want to know, why you teased the hair. Why did you use 30 volume? Why did you use that color on the root instead of a different color? What made you pick level, 10 on the ends when the client wanted a level 9? Because a level 10 is, if the hair is porous, you don't want to use a level 9, because it's going to end up making the hair too dark. If the client wants a level 9 and she has a little bit more of porous hair, you want to use a level 10 so that the hair will process and just subtly make it to that level 9 that she wants. Like, there's a lot of different things that go into hair and hair color. And if you're just watching somebody do hair and you're not exactly picking their brain, it's just like you don't know why they are doing certain things. And if you're in a salon full of, other coworkers and stuff, I can understand like why it's not always the most comfortable asking questions of why they did something or whatever. Like, if you're learning, thankfully, my salon that I work in, JCPenney's salon, is, I don't know, I just love my salon because I just always feel like it's such like a judgment-free zone. I don't know if anybody can relate, or, what salon you work in, but I've worked in other salons that are very judgy and very serious, and just, everybody's looking around the corner wondering what you're doing and whatever, but it's in like a judgy way. It's not in like a, oh, what are you doing? Oh, that's cool type of way, So I like my salon. It's super open-minded, just judgment-free. Like, we all, if somebody has a question, it's in a positive way, it's like ooh, that's a fun thing you're doing. What are you doing? Like, and then, so I have people like my coworkers and friends like asking me questions about what I'm doing all the time in person, and I'm so happy to answer it in person, and it's like a fun conversation. But I know in other salons it's not always super like, I don't know, welcoming or warm to ask your coworkers questions. So I don't know. I just feel like coming out with a video like this is like the best way. I just feel like I would have appreciated that. So I really hope that this helps you guys and these videos help. And if you like these types of videos, definitely subscribe to my channel and give this video a thumbs up, because it's just going to tell me that you definitely like my hair content. But yeah, and yeah, so the end of my life update, I kind of went off on a tangent there, but yeah, so I'm on maternity leave right now, and I'll be going back to work in August. And I do have a lot of hair content that's in my phone or in my camera at the time, right now. So I'm going to try to edit when I have a chance any videos that I have. But I'll try to come out with like new videos as well. And I also want to come out with like lifestyle videos. I did just recently post a gender reveal and a labor vlog. And I do want to continue to come out with like lifestyle videos, because it's my life and I want to have these videos in my, somewhere as a memory. If it's just in my camera roll on my phone, I will literally just never look at it. The memories are cool, but I just like to save it in a spot like Instagram or YouTube, or, I just kind of would rather come out with a video and save it there. So, sorry if I'm torturing you guys with these lifestyle videos, if you're just here for hair stuff. And if you do like my lifestyle videos, then, give those videos a thumbs up. Let me know that you want me to come out with more lifestyle videos. Like, I have a bridal shower vlog. I did a wedding video. So, just let me know that you guys like it. But sorry if you don't like it, then I'm still going to post them occasionally, because I definitely want to keep the memories going. Like, I definitely want to come out with a day in the life video of when I go back to work as a hairstylist, but also a day in the life as a new mom. And, if I bring my baby to the beach, like for the first time, I want to come out with like a day in the life of bringing a baby to the beach. Like, you know, just like a fun lifestyle video so that I can have them for memories. And so, yeah, that's my life update, and I'm going to try to get back to posting more hair content, but kind of mixed in with some lifestyle videos. So yeah, you know, let me know if you want that. Leave me a comment in this video letting me know what kind of videos you want to see. I always love to hear suggestions. But yeah, so that's the update. Enough of that. Let me explain what I'm doing on the side of her head. I already did the left side of the head. I don't like to show that angle because you can't really see it that well in the camera. But this is the right side of the hair, and I just did the exact same V-shape pattern, but I'm taking a lot more into the foil with the lightener, and I'm feathering up the underneath right now. I already feathered up the top of it, and I sandwiched it in 2 foils. And this is going to be like the hairline, so it's going to give it like a nice sun-kissed look, leaving some little baby hairs out in the front, but taking a lot of the baby hairs into the foil as well is going to give you like that nice natural look. So yeah, I'm just going to do the same pattern all the way up the hair. I'm skipping that 1/2 inch section, and then I'm going to be taking that slice and doing the same V shape, teasing and saturating this into a foil. Also, I did want to mention that even though the ends are already blonde, and a lot of times the rule of thumb with lightening is you don't want to overlap on previous lightened hair, but my sister's hair is very like strong and durable. So also our goal is to go lighter and cool, very cool. So obviously there's a lot of warmth in her previous blonde, and so I'm definitely overlapping and not worrying about any breakage because we are going to chop a little bit more of this hair off anyway. Like those very, very fine, like those tips at the end are not so warm. So, you know, we're chopping all this off anyway. Not all of it, but like just the tips we're chopping off. And then this mid shaft section, we want that to be lightened and we want that warm to be bumped up anyway. So I'm just going to watch it, make sure it's good the whole time, but I'm not worrying about overlapping because her hair is very strong. You could do like that strand test in a way where you take your fingers and you have a piece of strand, you have a hair strand in your fingers and you just kind of like pull on it to make sure it's strong and doesn't feel weak or anything. But no, my sister's hair is very strong, so I knew it was fine to overlap, and so I'm just taking any previously lightened warm hair or anything and getting this into the foil and doing this V shape. And yeah, so that's basically like the gist of the placement, and I'm just going to work this up the whole rest of the way and to the very top, and then I'm going to pop her under heat for a little while to help bump this even more so that we get all of the warmth out of her roots, because naturally she has like a very dark level. I mean, not crazy dark, but it's like a level 4, you know, that has a lot of warmth in it as the underlying tone. Level 4 has like red and, you know, orange and all those tones. So we definitely, and our goal is a super light, smoky lavender, you know, so we definitely want to get this as light as possible, and sitting just open air is not going to really cut it. So I'll pop her under the dryer for like 15 minutes. Of course, because her hair is strong, I can just check her after, you know, 10-15 minutes. If her hair was weak, I would not use heat at all, or I would check her after like 2 minutes type of thing. But yeah, so that's basically what we're going to be doing for her hair. Also, I did want to mention that as I'm getting higher up to the top of the head here, this section gets a lot wider, and I don't want to take just like a single wide section anymore. Sometimes I do. It depends on the placement that I'm going for, but I want her hair to be like chunkier. Like I want to be able to see the dimension of like a really strong, cool chunk and her dark chunk, like her root. So I just am going to be, as I start to get up to the top of her head, I'm going to start to take like a section on the left and a section on the right. Like right now I'm taking one big chunk, which is fine because this is the underneath anyway. But like as I get to the top, I'm going to separate this into two pieces, one for the front of her hair and one for the back of her hair. And that's, like I said, going to give me a little bit of a more chunky effect. Also, when I take a single slice like this on such a wide section, I will do more of like a W pattern instead of the V pattern that I've been doing on all of these other slices that have like a less wide of a slice. I will feather up just a little bit more in the middle section of this dark void of the root, give me more of a little bit of a V shape of this placement, and that just kind of again helps with any dimension so that I'm not leaving too much dark, but I also want to leave enough dark, because the more dark you leave next to a light chunk, you're going to see that light chunk so much more. If you do too much lightening and you don't leave enough dark, it's not going to be like dimensional enough. So yeah, just FYI. So in the very front as well, like at the very top in the front on the money piece, I did take a little bit of thicker chunks just to make it more of like a bolder face frame, and keeping in mind that I do want to add that lavender chunk in the front, so I want more lightened in the front so that I have more to work with to give me that light lavender chunk and also a blonde chunk. Like I definitely want this face frame in the front to be nice and bold and fun, and exciting. So more lightener in the front, making it a bolder face frame, is going to give me more room to work with. But that's basically how I did the front and the top. But I'm going to stop talking your ear off right now, and I'm just going to let you watch how I did the front and the top. Yeah, it's like ridiculous.
And then, you know, and then people, you know, like, where's the marriage? You know, there's no marriage. Why'd we get married?
100%.
So.
Yeah, 100%. Well, that's good then. He kind of.
Yeah, so he's figuring it out, you know.
Decided to just do his own thing.
We're doing the
If you guys
foundation.
have the means for it and can do it, then why not?
Yeah, and if we can't, then he'll find like a 9 to 5 again.
Yeah.
But nowhere near where demanding that it was, you know.
Yeah.
He'll take a pay cut.
Yeah. I hate when I run out on like 2 people. That might be good. I don't know. Just a little bit left, you know?
Yeah, that sucks. You got this.
But that's cool.
Yeah.
And I did, after I finished all these foils, I popped her under one of these dryers and I let her sit with like a medium heat, nothing too hot, medium heat for like 15 minutes. And this is the result of after I lightened it. You can see like the very top is still a little bit warm, but that's fine. And the ends are pretty light, like a nice pale yellow, and it's nice and even all the way down. There's no patchiness. That's because she doesn't have any color buildup on her hair. So that's really great. And yeah, the end result's going to look really nice because of how even all of this lightened up. And so for the root color, I mixed up Matrix Colorsync, 1.5 ounces of 8G and a 1/4 ounce of 6G, and G stands for gold. And the gold in Matrix Colorsync is a bit of a cooler gold. Like, it's not necessarily a cool gold, but it's just not too warm either. So I know that this is fine to use, even though I'm doing like a smoky end. And honestly, doing a little bit of a warmer root on this client, my sister's hair, is better because her skin tone just does not look good with a super, super ashy color all around. We've done that before and we just had to warm up the root because just was not working. It was making her look like washed out. So we already came to realize that. So that's why I knew, even though I'm doing a smoky ends and lavender chunk in the front, the root color for this toner is very, just kind of stay warm. So 1.5 ounces of 8G and a 1/4 ounce of 6G, and that's just going to darken the root also, like quite a bit, darken it enough so that we have that nice root shadow, because who doesn't love a good root shadow? And it just adds that depth that we always look for when it comes to a balayage. So that's why I did the gold, to keep it a bit warmer, and those levels, like the 8 will turn more into a level 7, and so the level 7 is just going to help with that, like the depthness, like it's not too dark, because I don't want her to have like a darkened root so much where you don't get that nice fade, because if it's too dark, it's a little bit, I don't know, sometimes it's just too dark of a root, So a level, like the 8 will process like a level 7, and the 6 is going to process like a level 5. So it's just helping to keep that depth in the root and the darkness. So this is what I put on her root, and I'm just doing it on the very tips, and then in the just the very roots in the very front, just a little, maybe about a 1/2 inch. And when I start going closer to the back, I'll drag it down a little bit more. So it kind of ends up being like that triangle shape where it's higher up in the front and longer in the back. So that's another thing that gives you like that nice natural balayage, grown out look, So that's the placement for the roots, and I do just comb it a little bit, just a little, so it helps break up that line a little bit. Yeah, this is the color for the root. Also, I did mix this with 10 volume. So I just took a wide tooth comb and I combed this out a little bit. Also, the purpose for the foil on the other side of the head is just so that the roots don't touch any blonde that I don't want it to touch. But yeah, so I combed it, and now this is the formula for the ends. Again, I'm using Matrix Colorsync, which is a demi-permanent, and I did 10V, 10P, Smoky Lavender, which is the So Color Cult, but that's also demi, and I mixed that with clear as well to dilute it a little bit. So the 10V is violet, and that's going to get rid of any yellow tones, because remember, we're making this super smoky, super light, super smoky, ashy, and so the violet's going to get rid of yellow, which obviously blonde is all yellow. The P stands for pearl, so like the 10P is a pearl, and that has a blue violet base. And so blue will get rid of any unwanted orange tones, and then again more violet to get rid of these yellow tones. And then the smoky lavender in the So Color Cult Demi that's what it is, lavender. So that's super, super violet, super purple as well, but it's not dark purple. It's just so light. So adding that into the formula is just going to just help get this like violet to be strong enough to make this super smoky. But because it's like so diluted and it's mixed with the 10 volumes and stuff, it's not going to turn this lavender. Adding like that little bit of lavender is not going to turn it lavender, especially when you're adding it on damp hair and you're putting it with 10 volume and 10P. The smoky lavender from the So Color Cult is not going to, make it lavender. It's just going to smoke it out a lot, especially because she has a lot of warm in her ends still. Even though the very ends are pale yellow, there's still warm in there. It's like it's still yellow, and so we're getting rid of all this yellow. So that's a half ounce of each. So a half ounce of violet, half ounce of 10V, half ounce of 10P, half ounce of smoky lavender, and then a half ounce of clear, because I really want it. I don't want to dilute this too much, because if I do dilute it too much, it won't get rid of enough yellow. So I did equal parts of all, which gives me like 2 ounces, and that's what I'm putting on the ends. And I'm going to let this sit for like 10 minutes, get it really nice and smoky, and then I'm going to be putting that lavender chunk in. And I forget if I said it or not, but I mixed this with 10 volume as well. And 10 volume is a deposit only developer. So that's, I always mix any color melt or toner that I use or glaze. It's always mixed with 10 volume. So if you're ever wondering, what did I mix, my toner with? It's always 10. So sorry if I forget to say that. But yeah, mix it with 10 volume. And the 10 is just gonna open the cuticle so little bit, like just a little bit, but so little that it's just opened enough for the tone and the pigment to deposit into the hair. It's not gonna blast the cuticle open like how a 30 or a 40 would do it. And yeah, you don't want to do that, because the color is just gonna fade, and it's also creating this stress on the hair that you don't need. So when you're depositing only, especially with a glaze, you just do 10 volume. It just subtly lifts that cuticle just a little, enough for the pigment and tone to go into the hair. And also 10 volume, you're gonna, with just the conditioner and the cool rinse at the end, if you do that, it's gonna be able to close the cuticle a lot easier, because you didn't blast it open too much, it's just subtly opened. So. And then this is the formula for the lavender chunk. I used the semi in the So Color Cult Matrix because it doesn't have to get mixed with any developer. So this is just the dusty purple, and it looks really green, but do not let that scare you, because the second it touches the hair, it turns into like this perfect purple, this like ashy smoky purple too. Like the dusty purple is very smoky. And then this is just a little bit of the tropical violet. I didn't measure it, obviously, like I just squeezed it into the bowl, but you could eyeball, these fashion colors. I just like to eyeball it, but like I said, it comes out very green and mossy colored, but that's the ashiness, like violet and purple, that's ashy, so green is ashy. So I think that's just the ashiness. And the coolest part about it being green in the bowl, or brown, right now it's freaking brown, but the coolest part about that is like literally the second it touches the hair, it turns into this like perfect purple color, and it's just so satisfying to watch it change right before your eyes. Oh my god, it looks so bad mixed with the purple, like the tropical violet, and then that dusty purple when it's green in the bowl. It's just like a terrible color. And I mean, it's not bad to give your client like a little disclaimer if they, if they're terrified of the brown color in the bowl. Either don't show them the color in the bowl, or do like me. Tell my clients what I'm doing, so I'm just like, don't worry, it's an ugly brown color in the bowl, but it's going to be a perfect purple or whatever. I just tell my client because I like to have them trust the process with me. So and then this is my sister, so I tell her, obviously it doesn't matter. She's cool. She was my guinea pig all throughout my entire cosmetology process and, being a new stylist and stuff. So she's like been my experiment, forever. And now that I'm actually good at doing hair or whatever, she's just like, whatever, you do whatever. So I don't even think I had to tell her about the brown color in the bowl. She just knows to trust me, and she's been my guinea pig forever. So that's just, what she has to deal with. But I tell everybody what I'm doing. But so this is after the toner. I washed this out, I conditioned it, and now I'm just like, I know this is kind of weird, but I'm sectioning out all of the tones of purple. All of the sections that I wanted to add purple. So I wanted the purple to be like chunky. So I'm just sectioning out anywhere I want to add this purple chunk or these purple chunks. And, it's just going to make my life easier because I'm not going to be drawing the entire head of hair and then adding the purple. You could add this on damp hair. It's just not going to be vibrant as much as I want this to be vibrant. I want it to be like a very vibrant lavender smoky chunk in the front. And we're also, like I said, adding a couple of chunks elsewhere, like other places. And so I'm just sectioning out where I want the chunks to be, and I'm just drawing the chunks, and I'm going to add this purple color into a foil. That way it doesn't touch any of the other hair. And yeah, so, I mean, it's a little bit of a weird way to do it, but I just feel like it's less of a messy process. And, I just think that it's just easier not to have to dry the whole head. I'm just sectioning out these chunks, drying the chunk, and coloring it. And I think I let this sit for like 15 minutes because I want it to sit long enough to be able to last as long as possible. These fashion colors, especially in the lightest shades that I'm doing, like right now is lavender is like one of the lightest shades. This is going to fade in just a couple of weeks for the client. And that's just something you have to be transparent about because every client's different. Sometimes it fades in like a week or two. Sometimes it lasts longer. And if they're using good shampoo and they're using cold water and stuff, like it could last a couple of weeks. But, light pink and light lavender and really light colors, they tend to only last a couple of weeks. But the best thing about lavender is as it's fading, it's toning the hair into a smoky color. So she's going to be left, after this lavender fades out, she's going to be just left with a nice smoky blonde. So there's no like weird tone that is left over, So yeah, I'm just adding this into her chunks that I just dried. And yeah, it still looks like a shit brown color. Sorry about that. But yeah, you can I can see it close up when I'm doing the hair, but it immediately turns into a really cool purple. So hopefully you guys get to see that in the video. I don't know if it's going to be easy to see, but yeah, so like 15 minutes on these dry chunks, and then you'll get to see the final result. And also, when it comes to placement, when you're doing fashion colors, it is entirely up to you and like your creative process. It's wherever you want to see the chunks of color, it's wherever your client wants to see it. It's just, completely creative. You can just be an artist about it, If I want like the chunk in the front to be very symmetrical on each side of her head, then I will take a chunk from each side of her part and I'll add that into one slice. Like right now I have this little bit of a mohawk section going in the very, very front. This is like the front chunk, and it's a bit of a mohawk because it's just going back or forward. And I just took a big chunk from each side of her part where she parts her hair, and that makes it so that either way doesn't matter where she parts her hair, it will be an even symmetrical purple chunk on either side of her head. So I do like to do that when I'm doing like a bold color, a color block bang or something, which is kind of what this is in a sense. But yeah, other than that, really just the placement is totally up to you and your creative process. And so that's just what I ended up choosing. But you see, I kept this nice blonde chunk in the front because we wanted that blonde face frame also. And I'm just drying it, and I washed this off, conditioned it, and now I'm drying it. And I like to dry the front first because I love to give my client the grand reveal, and I just love to see the color right away. So if there's any adjustments that need to be made, we can do it without doing the entire blowout first, but also clients are like sweating in the chair. They want to know if this looks good or not, and also it's been forever since, the process of a balayage or highlights or anything takes hours. So it's like, I don't want to wait. I want to know what the color looks like. The client wants to know right away if they love it or not, and so it just takes the like worry away. So that's the pretty purple chunk. But doing the front first just takes the worry away. Now the client can just now that they know they love it, they can just sit there and enjoy the rest of their styling time and like the haircut or the blowout or the curls or whatever. They already know they love it. So they could just sit there and relax and imagine, life with their new hair, and they don't have to be like worrying the entire time. Oh my God, I hope it came out good. Oh, I hope it looks good. Oh my God, I hope I like it, or whatever, and plus you don't waste your time if the client doesn't like it, or if you feel like you want to just do a really quick toner at the sink to make it a little darker, or do whatever, like if you feel like any adjustments need to be made, you didn't waste like however long to do the entire styling just for you both to be like, yeah, I think we should go a little bit darker or whatever, so, can just avoid that drama and just blow out the front first, be like, okay, you love it? Okay, same, me too. So, all right, sounds good. But yeah, I'm just going to finish blow drying this. I'm going to add some beachy waves to give us this nice finish, and it brings out the shine, a little bit of an iron, brings out the shine a bit, and yeah, you can see how smoky the ends are too. There's no more warmth in her hair. It's not, yellow or gold. It's very like whitish, it's beigey, it's like a sandy color. But yeah, that's what we're going for. And you see like the gold at the root doesn't even really look gold. Like but it makes her skin tone still look good. Like she's not like washed out, even though it's so ashy on her. Yeah, just that little bit of gold at the root helps to avoid that. But yeah, messy blow dry because we want to keep this nice and textured still. So I'm not really smoothing it out too much with the brush. I'm just keeping it nice and messy and just doing a quick blow dry on purpose because I want this to stay nice and textured so that when I do the beachy waves, it looks really natural. Okay guys, so this is the final result. This is how it all came out in the after transformation. You can see the roots have a nice deep depth to them. It's still dark enough and has that slight bit of warmth from the gold, just to keep it nice and good on her skin tone. And the ends are very natural looking, like the root don't have any line. It's very seamless, and you can see all the fun chunks of purple and that white chunk there. And yeah, this is how it came out. You can see I cut her hair in an A-line, a very short to long, pointed out in the front A-line bob. And yeah, she loved this. She rocked this for a while. This is the hair that she had at my wedding. She was the maid of honor at my wedding. So this is the hair that she had. This is why we were doing her hair today, was because my wedding was about to be here. This was how long ago I freaking filmed this video, but I'm so glad I finally got around to it. Oh my god, I love this lavender chunk in the front. She's gonna freak out when I freaking post this video because she's gonna want this hair again. But yeah, I love the dimension in her hair in this video. How dark, and I just love that dark dimension with that really, really light pop of color next to it. So yeah, I'm obsessed with this hair. I'm so glad she let me do something fun. I love when my clients let me do some fun creative thing. And so glad. I can't even believe I was able to sit here and film and talk through this entire video. My baby was napping this whole time, and I guess I just lucked out today. So pray for future days of me lucking out, and maybe I'll come out with more videos more often, and that is my goal. So just know that that's my goal, to come out with more videos more often. And let me know in the comments below if you are a part of my hairdo crew. So if you made it to the very end of this video, you are a real one. I love you guys, and you are definitely a part of my hairdo crew if you made it to the end of this video. And kudos to you, because knowledge is power, and you can never know enough. There's always something to learn. So I'm glad you guys made it to the very end of this video. So definitely comment down below, hairdo crew, if you made it this far. And give this video a thumbs up, subscribe to my channel, and yeah, I hope you guys liked this video, and it was so good finally talking to you again. I hope you have a good one, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye!
So give me your all. I'll take it to Mars. Oh, I'll stick like glue inside your mind. Just watch me breaking.